So even though we will see verse number 3, but let us chant from verse number 1. Arjuna uvacha ye sastra vidhimutsrujya yajante shraddhayanvita tesham nishthatvuka krishna sattvaho rajastamaha. Sri Bhagavan uvacha trividha bhavati Sraddha dehinam sa swabhavaja satviki rajasi chaiva tamasi cheti tam shrunu. Sattvanurupa sarvasya Sraddha bhavati bharata. Sraddha mayoyam purushaha yo yachraddha sa eva saha. So, as already you know, being this Shraddha topic, Lord Krishna is very careful and handles the question also in a careful way, as you know. So Arjuna had the question. So he wanted to understand or find out whether Shastra is important or Sraddha is important. So I am having Sraddha, but I don't follow Shastra. I follow my Sraddha. You understand? Because when you bring the Shastra, so you need to bring two things, the teacher and the culture. Without teacher and culture, can you follow Shastra? Try. It's not going to work. But I can have a Shraddha. So when, I think I have not recorded, huh? That's correct. So okay, somebody is sending some messages. So however, here what we need to do, that now when Arjuna asked this question, now with Shraddha but without following Shastra, Vidhi. So how one can look at or how to arrive at whether the person is Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic. And we have already come to the conclusion, if the person is having ultimate Shraddha and of course follows the Shastra Vidhi, you can close your eyes and say it is Sattva Guna Pradhana. Because Shastra always helps a person to lead or to lead to Sattva. Whereas when there is conflict, one side there is Shastra, other side there is Shraddha. So we need to analyze. We need to be careful. That's why in the verse number 2, Lord Krishna, as a teacher, opened his mouth, said, Trividha bhavati Sraddha. He didn't answer, but he answered differently. There are 3 types of Shraddha. And that too Dehinam, so Ajnaninam. So those who are spiritually illiterate, you have to supply the word, okay? Spiritually or scripturally, better word, scriptural, not spiritual is wrong word, scripturally illiterate. That's right word, Shastra. So if they are scripturally illiterate, Dehinam, now there are three types of Sraddha. That too, Sa Swabhavaja is in keeping with their own temperament. So now, if this is the case, now they are called Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. Now, may you listen to them in details. So that means if the Shraddha is Swabhavaja, this is the most important point to note, okay? Shraddha Swabhavaja. That means Shraddha arises based on one's own nature of mind. This is the first statement that one should remember. Then, to explain further, says, look, this verse number 3 is important. There are two statements we'll see in this verse number 3. Sattvanurupa sarvasya Sraddha bhavati bharata. So here it is Sattvanurupa, Sattva anurupa. So Sattva means here is not Sattva guna. Don't look at, Sattva means Sattva guna. Sattva means here is called mind. Antakarana. Sattva guna karyabhuta antakarana iti. Means in short, mind. So that means depending upon your type of mind, Sattvanurupa Sarvasya Sraddha Bhavati Bharata. O Bharata, O Arjuna, means you belong to the lineage of Bharata. Why? We'll also discuss this point. That may you know, Sraddha Sarvasya, the Sraddha of everyone. Bhavati is in keeping with what? In accordance with Sattva Anurupa. In accordance with, in keeping with one's own mind or temperament. So that means very clearly you can see that being Sraddha based on my mind and temperament, if my mind fluctuates, Sraddha also will fluctuate. That we'll see later on. Then also he highlights Ayam Purushaha Sraddhamayah iti. A person is nothing but filled with Sraddha. So that means if you want to understand a person, understand his or her Sraddha. I am throwing statements after statement in this verse, okay? If Ayam Purushaha Sraddhamayah iti. So if you want to understand a person, the person is nothing, just product of one's own Sraddha. Here Maya means, even though Prachurya Arthe we take it, modification, but you can say product, okay? So the person is the product of one's own Sraddha. That's why they say sometimes, the child is the father of a man. It's a nice, beautiful statement, okay? Somewhere psychologically I have gone through. Child is the father of a man. What do you mean by this? This is the statement, okay? Ayam Purushaha Sraddhamayah iti. From this, psychological statement has come. So don't think this psychologist, they have invented something, okay? They have borrowed all these things, but in their way, okay? In their psychological problem way, okay? Problematic way. But they helps a lot. I mean, it helps. They don't help, it helps, okay? That's a better word, okay? However, when a person says, child is the father of a man, what does it mean? It means whatever Sraddha a child has, that Sraddha molds the person to become an adult. So that means the values that I have taken up in my childhood becomes me, or becomes part of me, finally it becomes me when I am an adult. That's why we say, if you want to teach something to somebody, teach young mind. We don't say young people, okay? Young mind means the one who is at least available to listen to. This I am changing carefully, okay? Or else you people will say, Swamiji, half of us, we are old, okay? So please, let us close the class. I don't know whether you will be loser or not, I will be loser, okay? So I will not get a chance to dwell upon this teaching, okay? So I need to hold on you people. So that's why I am changing my words carefully. Coming back. That if you observe that the Sraddha in my childhood determines my adulthood, then you may say that means you mean my childhood and my parentage are important. They are everything. Am I the replica of them? So if my parents are stupid, you mean I'll be stupid? I don't want to be copycat of my parents, at least. I'm tired. But don't worry, you know better, okay? Finally you become the copycat of your parents, don't worry, okay? In many ways. That's another point. Let me not get into psychological aspect. Or my father is the best, so I would like to be that. So whole life you struggle. Some of them, they run away because they cannot grow under a tree, big tree. Remember, this is not right either, because we have two examples. One of the best example is, let us look at Ravana. So Ravana was a Brahmana, son of Vishrava Rishi. Mother was problem, okay? And he was not ordinary. Even though his childhood was great, father also was great, but we know what was Ravana. That's why Ravana, this is more important for this Ravana to bring here. Ravana first was having Sraddha, Bhakti, devotion. Complete surrender to whom? To Lord Shiva. Shiva Tandava Stotram, okay, written by him. And because of that reason, his name was Ravana. Ravana name was given by Shiva only. Earlier his name was Dasanana. However, when he was having ultimate, let us say, surrender to Lord Shiva, but his purpose was entirely different. So he wanted to be most important devotee of Lord Shiva. In fact, he was always proud. I am the only devotee. That's why he tried his level best to bring Lord Shiva under his control. Like some of you do also, okay? Don't worry. Swamiji is mine. However, so he did all his, tapas, austerity with full of Sraddha, and he built golden palace for Lord Shiva in Kailasa, and finally Lord Shiva nicely discarded. And later on again another boon for that he got, and he wanted to take Lord Shiva with him. In fact, Lord Shiva became Shivalinga and travelled with him. But of course with one condition. What was the condition? Anywhere you place me, I will be settled there. And interestingly, when he was carrying Lord Shiva from Kailash to Sri Lanka, that's why we say Sri Lanka is a cursed place because of this reason. And because of something or other, let me not get into in details, then subsequently in Tamil Nadu, one place, so Ravana had to hand over Shivalinga to somebody, of course a child, that was none other than Ganesha. Then finally Ganesha kept it on the ground. Then Lord Shiva stayed back there. Historically also the place is there, amazing. So Jala Tattvam there. So coming back to the point here, because he drank so much water, Ravana, so went for Lavushanka. So that's why connected to that. However, here when we see Ravana was having ultimate Sraddha, but happens to be Asura. Because he did not follow the Shastra Vidhi. For him, Lord Shiva was ultimate in the beginning. For anything he was referring to Lord Shiva. Later on, he went against Lord Shiva. He started hating Lord Shiva. So that means his Sraddha was exactly like when you join in the company. So when you join in a company, you surrender to your immediate boss. You understand? How do you surrender? How long? You know better. If the time comes to replace him or her, you will be the first person. Now, was that surrender? Was that Sraddha? So with a motive when you surrender, with a motive when there is Sraddha, that is not Sraddha. That's why I am highlighting that Sraddhamaya ayam Purushaha. And secondly, second example is Hiranyakashipu and Prahlada. So Hiranyakashipu was Asura, whereas Prahlada was a great devotee. Opposite. So how did it happen? So it clearly explains these two examples that my childhood, my parentage, including my gene, can influence. They can contribute, but they cannot determine. They are contributing factors. Remember this point. My childhood, my upbringing, My parents especially are contributing factor of my Sraddha, of my personality. But definitely they are not determining aspect. They cannot determine. Because if they become determining factor, then what about my past karma, my prarabdha, and me as an individual? So that's why my Shraddha is, or you can use the word my personality, leave the Shraddha word now, okay? If it better word. My personality is nothing mixture of me, my past karma, because of which I have my parentage and childhood. Put together is me. Unless I keep putting my effort. That's why here is being highlighted that ya yat shraddha sa eva saha. So based on shraddha, if you observe, now the person moves in life. So that's why yat shraddha, whatever is one's shraddha, sa eva saha, that indeed he is. So you are none other than your Shraddha. That's why Shraddha plays big role in teaching tradition. We don't believe in faith called Vishwasa. That religious people highlight later on. We don't have any space for Vishwasa. We highlight Shraddha. And moreover, sorry, when I look at my Shraddha, I have to see how my Shraddha is. Because Shraddha cannot be perceived. Pratyaksha anugocharam. It is not pratyaksham at all. Only anumeyam iti. You can infer. That's why conveniently you can interpret the way you want. So when it is not pratyaksham, it is not visible directly, not perceivable, only it is inferred through different observations in different ways, like a doctor tries to understand the body in paroksha method. Suppose a child is not eating properly, something is wrong. What they say? Open your mouth, bring out your tongue, see this, see that. If the doctor is not able to conclude, okay, take some blood sample, now examine, then come to the conclusion. So the disease that is related to the body, when is not visible, then what is done? Now doctor takes the help of something and infers. That's why they always keep inferring. That's why the prescription is such a way nobody can read it. Like somebody say joke very nicely. So no, the complaint comes from the school. Your child handwriting is very bad. It's not readable at all. The father says, I am very happy. Why you are happy? So that my son is definitely going to be a doctor. And I am not telling you jokes. All over the world I have seen. The prescriptions are alike. And interestingly, if you write properly and go to pharmacist, like paracetamol, P-A-R-A, that in capital letter you go and see it, that fellow will look at it 10 times. To you? You understand? But when you say, within a second, we'll hand over to you. I am not telling you jokes. I have tried this, okay? In India, I have tried and I became successful. That's an observation. The moment. However, let us not get into joke apart. So, if I am the embodiment of my Sraddha, and that too Sraddha is not visible at all. Now, I have to be double careful with reference to my Sraddha. Because when I am confused, I will not be able to see or understand my Sraddha. Because the way I am being fed with my surroundings, with my parents, with my insecurities, I will come to a conclusion that is ultimate. Like Ravana. All asuras do the same thing. Because so that verse second, fourth and fifth at a time I can take. That's why I am building up. So all asuras do worship either Lord Shiva, not Vishnu, definitely not, and Brahmaji. So to make sure that they will get the best, do you know what they do? They do ghora tapas, not ordinary. Years together of penance. After that penance, what is the first? All the TV serials remember, okay? If you have not read the books. So what? I should not die. I must not die. This is the first boon they will ask for it. Then poor Shiva or Brahma, impossible. I cannot. Okay, give me the boon. I will not be dead by the man. They no, many of them, they don't bring woman at all. They think woman they can handle just like that, okay? But they don't understand woman is the main cause, okay? I should not be dead, I should not be killed by man, nor by animal. They are afraid of animal, okay? Man and animal straight away comes, okay? Man and animal. Then comes Devatas, God, Rakshasas, Asuras, blah, blah, blah. So now they leave whom? Woman. So now finally woman becomes the cause of the death, like Durga Asura, etc. There are many cases are there, okay? So Durga Asura asked the exact boon like this. Finally Durga had to come to kill him. And of course there are many things, including, all these, many, including the Hiranyakashipu avatar came. That fellow was one step ahead, okay? Neither I should be killed in the daytime nor in night time, nor outside the house nor inside, nor by man nor by animal, nor on the heaven nor on the earth. So what are the conditions he had put, which was almost impossible. But don't worry, from impossible something is possible, okay? So what I am highlighting here is, all these asuras also was having great Sraddha, that too not for ordinary, for topmost deities, which we will see in next two verses. But what happens? Their motive was not healthy. That's why the moment they get boon, what happens in the TV serial? You understand? Now I am immortal. मैं अजर हो गया, मैं अमर हो गया. Now let me take revenge, because that was our childhood entertainment, okay? And especially when after long tapas, when the this you know what is that called, the Rakshasa or Asura, when the laughs, and we also come out of the serial, so we also rehearse, okay? What I am highlighting here is that 2 points we need to carry from especially this verse. Me as a person is nothing but embodiment of my Sraddha. I am the product of my Sraddha. Clear? My personality is nothing but is my Sraddha. And the second point is that the Sraddha is nothing that is in keeping with, in accordance with my own mind and temperament. So that means, in short, I am my temperament. More of it we will see tomorrow. Om Punnamadah Punnamidam Purnat Punnamudachyate Punnasya Punnamadaya Punnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.